problem number 21. So again, we need to be very slow and steady by solving this problem. Over here, you may think that there is a Wheatstone bridge, but it is not so. So kindly don't jump to a quick conclusion. So first of all, we are solving these two networks which are in parallel with each other. So these two resistances, equal resistances, are in parallel with each other. So we get equal to R by 2. Now the R by 2 which we obtain and this R are in series with each other. So we obtain R series which is equal to R by 2 plus R, that is 3R by 2. Now the 3R by 2 value which we obtain can be redrawn in this way. Then this circuit is going to look like this. So this is 3R by 2, R, R, R and R. So this is how we redraw this circuit. So now these two are in parallel with each other. So I can calculate Rp2, which is equal to R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. So we obtain equal to 3R square by 2 and 5R by 2. That is 3R by 5. Now this 3R by 5 which we obtain, we can replace these two resistances with the value which we obtain, that is 3R by 5. Now 3R by 5 and R are again in series with each other. We call it as RS1. So 3R by 5 plus R, that is equal to 8R by 5. Now the 8R by 5 and R are in parallel with each other. So again we calculate Rp3. So 8R by 5 multiply by R upon 8R by 5 plus R. So we obtain value equal to 8R square by 5 and 13R by 5. So R by 5 got cancelled out. So we are left with 8R by 13. Now this 8R by 13 and the final resistance R are in series. So the effective value is going to be 8R by 13 plus R. So 13 plus 8 is going to become 21R by 13 ohm. So 21R by 13, that is D alternative is correct for this particular problem. Let us move to the next question. So we have to find effective resistance between A and D for this circuit. So as the left and right hand segment are earth, they are not going to contribute for any value of resistance, and the two are in parallel with each other. So the effective is going to be R by 2. Let us move to the next question. So in this question, we are finding that there is a Wheatstone bridge network over here, that the ratio of the R1 R2 on the left hand side and R3 R4 on the right hand side are balancing. So we can remove the resistance in between. So if we remove the resistance in between, so we get resistance of 2R on the topmost rung, then 2R, and then in the lowest rung we have equal to R. So we have to calculate the effective value for this network. So we write it as 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by 2R plus 1 by 2R plus 1 by R. So Rp is equal to 2R upon 4, that is R by 2. So for this particular question, R by 2 is the correct alternative. Let us move to the next problem. So in this particular segment, we first of all mark that all these points are at A potential because they are connected by a conducting wire, so they all are equipotential. So if I redraw this circuit, naming the central node as O, so we can redraw this circuit like this, that the current starts at A Then there are 3 ways by which it can go till O, each with resistance 3R. And then from O, another resistance R is leading to B. So all this is equal to 3R. And then it is leading to B. So we can say that the parallel network will going to give us R, and the R and R are in combination to give you 2R. So the effective resistance for this particular problem is equal to 2R. Let us move to the next problem. Now in this question again, it is important that we mark the nodes first of all. So we begin with this. So these 2 points have the same potential, that is equal to A, and these 2 points have the same potential, that is equal to B. Now we have 2 other points which I am naming this part as C and I am naming this part as D. So if we try to reconstruct the diagram, so we can reconstruct it this way, that the current starts from A, and there is a path in between, that is C, then there is D, and then it ends at B. So let us see how the resistances are connected with each other. So between A and C there are 2 resistors, each of resistance R. Now between A and D is another resistance which is equal to R. Between C and D there is no connection. Now from C and B there is a connection which is equal to R. And from D to B we have 2 resistors connecting D to B like this. So we reconstruct this diagram in this way, that each resistance is equal to R. Now 2 resistances in parallel will contribute us R parallel, which is equal to R by 2. And if I redraw this diagram, so we get this value as R by 2, and then over here this value is R, and on top we have a value of R, and then again R by 2 to reach B. So now this is a simple question of a series parallel network. So R series 1 is going to be R plus R by 2, that is 3R by 2. Now 3R by 2 on top and 3R by 2 over here are in parallel with each other. So I say that R effective is equal to 3R by 4. So the effective value of resistance for this problem is 3R by 4. Let us deal with the next problem. So in this problem, all the resistance is equal to 2 ohm, and we are asked to calculate the effective value of resistance. So in this circuit, we again talk about symmetry. So whenever we say that a circuit is symmetrical, we mean to say that all the nodes which are perpendicular to the symmetrical nodes are equipotential. So I can say that C and E will be equipotential. I can remove this 2 ohm resistance, and I can also remove this 2 ohm resistance. Or we can also say that there is a Wheatstone bridge which is balanced Wheatstone bridge, and hence we can remove these 2 ohms on the either side. On removal of these 2 resistance, the circuit is reduced to a much simpler circuit, where there is a 2 ohm and then another there is a 2 ohm, followed by another layer of 2 ohm and 2 ohm. This is the connection in between, that is 2 ohm, and a similar pattern is drawn on the other side, something like this. So now if we calculate the effective value of resistance in parallel, so one is 4 ohm, another is 4 ohm, another is 2 ohm. Now there is a repetition of 4 ohm twice, so I am writing over here again 1 by 4 and again 1 by 4. So let us write it this way, and then I can solve it in the next line. So R parallel is 4 by 4 plus 1 by 2. So we get a value equal to 3 by 2. So Rp is equal to 2 by 3 ohm. So for this problem, the answer is 2 by 3 ohm. Let us move to the next problem. So this is a very simple circuit in which there are 12 resistors that are connected between the point A and B. So this is going to give us value of R by 2. So each parallel network is going to give us value of R by 2. So I can redraw this circuit in this way, that each parallel network is going to give us a value of R by 2. So R by 2, R by 2, R by 2. Now these two combinations which are in series with each other is going to give us R, and this one is going to give us R, which in again is going to give us value of R by 2. So there are 3 R by 2 which are in series with each other. So R series is equal to 3 R by 2. So for this problem we say option C is correct. Let us deal with the next problem. So in this case it is a cube problem. It is famously called as a cube problem. So in this particular case we will be calculating effective resistance across the different faces of the cube. So without looking much into this question, which this particular question is asking, let me teach you every basic aspect of this particular thing. So let us begin by drawing the cube. I am not mentioning the resistances involved. Each edge is representing a resistance of R. Treat it this way, that each edge is representing resistance of R. So we are solving a first case in which we consider that the current is entering this end and leaving from the other diagonal, other face. So this is regarded as the cross diagonal. So in this we can say that there is a perfect symmetry. So I can do it using different ways or different techniques. Over here I'll be teaching you two techniques as well. So if we begin like this, that there is a 3I current that enters from this point. So the 3I current must leave from this point as well. Now since the circuit is perfectly symmetrical, I am saying that the current is distributed in three equal divisions of I, and I each. And then I am saying that over here also the current 3I which is leaving the circuit is also the sum of the three equal resistances, each having value of I. Now if we consider each node where these current lead up to, so we see that each node is dividing into two nodes. Each node is dividing into two nodes. Each node is dividing into two nodes. And then we say that these divided current rejoin together to make I. So each of them together combine together to give us I. Over here also this one green segment and the another green combine together to give you one value of I. So I can say that each segment will have the current equivalent of I by 2. So the value of current in this part is going to be I by 2. I by 2. So the first technique which we use over here is to draw the current, draw this diagram in another way. Like if I consider this end as A and this end as B, so we are drawing it in this way, that the current passing from A is divided into three resistors which are equipotential. Now these three are further divided into 6. Each of them is contributing to 2 more resistances. So I am drawing 6 resistances in between, and then they combine together with the 3 resistances in the end to reach B. So if I solve using this technique, then I can say that the resistance between AB is going to be r by 3 plus r by 6 plus r by 3, that is 2r plus r plus 2r, that is RAB is equal to 5r by 6. So this is the answer for this one. We can also solve it. I am teaching you an alternate method as well. Now based on the current division which we have done, so I can select any loop. So over here I am selecting this loop marked in black, and then I am selecting this, and then I am selecting this to reach B. You can select any line you want. So if I apply Kirchhoff's law between A and B this time, so I can write the equation in this way, that VA minus VB is equal to IR plus I by 2 into R plus IR, and this can be written as the total current 3I multiplied by the effective resistance R effective, and then we obtain value equal to 5IR by 2. So from here we get the value of effective resistance as 5R by 6 again. So this question can be solved in this method as well by applying Kirchhoff's law. Let us move to solving the another phase. So let me again redraw this tube. So this time we are solving it for the phase diagonal. That is, this one is A and this one is B. So we are solving for the phase diagonal. So in case of the phase diagonal, so there is a way by which I can teach you this problem in a very amazing way. So let us look at this without doing any distribution of current. I can go with this. So let us consider it this way, that this is the front face which we are talking about, consisting of 4 edges. So consisting of 4 edges, let me name it for avoiding any sort of complication, A, B, C, D. So we have drawn the front face, AB, and this one is C and this one is D. Now the face which is on the other side, which is E, F, G, H. So I am drawing it like this. Be very careful about it. I am drawing it inside it like this. Now if I look properly, then I can say that C and G are connected with each other. So I am calling this as G. D and E are connected. So I am calling this one as E. A and H are connected. So we are calling this as H. And then F and D are connected. So we are calling this as F. So if we look, if you try to understand this diagram, we can understand it in this way as well, that we have redrawn this 3D circuit into a 2D segment like this, or maybe questions can be asked like this as well to find us the equivalent value of resistance. Now if we look at this problem, now I can go with the symmetry method. So if I go using the symmetry method, then I can remove this resistance. So I can remove this part over here and this part over here. and then I can remove this part over here. So if I redraw this circuit, then this is the circuit going to look like. Because of symmetry, I have removed these two resistances because they are equipotential. Now we can easily solve for this particular problem. So RS1 is going to be 2R, which is the upper strata or the lower strata. They both will contribute to 2R. This one is also 2R, this one is also 2R. So we can redraw this circuit in this way, that over here we have a value of 2R, then somewhere in between R is there, so this 2R and 2R will combine together to give us R, and then again down here we have 2R. So all this resistance is equal to R. This is A and this is B. So if I apply the formula for R parallel, then it is equal to 1 by 2R plus 1 by 3R plus 1 by 2R. We write this as 6R. So R can be written as 6R upon, that is 3R by 4. So the value is 3R by 4. Let us look at the alternate method for solving this particular problem. So over here we are considering that a total of I current enters the circuit at A and leaves the circuit at B, that is the diagonal face on the same face of the cube. So now we are considering this by dividing the current. So I am considering first of all that if we draw one face of the cube, then the current is entering from here and leaving from this end. So one thing is evident, that these two nodes are equipotential. So over here I can say that E and D are equipotential and C and G are equipotential, and we can remove the edge ED and GC because no current will flow through this network. So the circuit is looking like this, and this is D, G and C respectively. So now we consider it this way, that a total of I current enters into this field and get divided into these two networks which are identical. So these two ACB and ADB are identical. So I consider that I1 current is flowing in this part and I1 current is flowing in this part. Now we are considering that a different current, suppose I2 current is flowing in AH and returning back over here to join I1 from DB and CB to again become I at B. So over here we are finding that at H the current is divided into two parts, and similarly they rejoin back at F. So we are saying that these are equal divisions. So I2 by 2, I2 by 2, I2 by 2, and over here is also I2 by 2. So this is the current division which we are talking about. Now the first equation which I can frame is that the total current I is equal to 2I1 plus I2. So this is the first equation which we have. So if we apply Kirchhoff's equation, that is VA minus VB, and suppose I am following the path ADB. So if I am following the path ADB, so I will write it as I1R plus I1R, that is twice of I1R. So this becomes my second equation. Now if I again apply VA minus VB, this time for the path A to H, H to G, G to F, so I write it as I2R. In HG we write it as I2 by 2 into R. In GH we write it as I2 by 2 into R, and then in FB we write it as I2R. So this over here will combine together to give us 3i2r. So this becomes my third equation. So now I can say that 2i1r is equal to 3i2r, and we get a relation between i1 and i2. So i1 can be written as 3i2 by 2. So if I put this value in the equation 1, so we can write it as that capital I is equal to 2i1, that is 6i2 by 2 plus i2. So that is we obtain i2 is equal to capital I by 4, and i1 is equal to 3 by 2 times of i2, that is I by 4, so 3i by 8. So now we can say that for this network, that is VA minus VB, we can write it as 2i1r, that is 6i by 8 into r from equation number 2. From this equation we are writing it as 2i1 into r, and overall we can write it as I into r effective is equal to 6ir by 8. So over here we obtain that the effective value of resistance is equal to 3r by 4. So this is the alternate method for solving this kind of a circuit. Let us move to the next part which the question was asking us. So now we are going to discuss about the fact that if the current is entering and leaving from the vertices on the same edge. So let me first of all draw this setup. So this time we are talking about the current entering and leaving from the vertices on the same edge. So for the purpose of naming or solving efficiently, we are saying this as A and this as B. So current enters at A and leave from B. So if we start considering this portion in this way, so we say that the point over here, suppose I call it as E, and the point over here, suppose I call it as D, will be equipotential. Similarly, the point over here C and the point here F will be equipotential. And I am naming this as H and G respectively. So I am saying that in the circuit the vertices E and D, F and C are equipotential. E, D, F and C are equipotential, and hence we can redraw this circuit in this way. Suppose I take this end as A and the other end as B. So between A and B there is a direct resistance which is connected, which is equal to R, which is this resistance. Now over here in between I am mentioning the points E, D, and here I am mentioning C, F. So if we look at the way the current division is taking place, so A to D and A to E, there are two resistance. So we are drawing two resistance between A to E and A to D. Similarly, from C to F, there are again two resistances. So we are drawing these two resistances between C and F. Now, between ED or CF, there is again a combination of two resistances. And apart from this, we also need to take into consideration H and G. So we also have to take into consideration H and G. So taking that into consideration, so between E, D and H, so there are two resistances, these two. So we are joining it in this way to get us the two resistances between E, D or H. Similarly, there are two resistances between C, F and G. Kindly go on looking at the cube also. And there is a resistance R which is connecting between H and G. So this is how we draw equivalent diagram for this particular circuit. Now it is only a matter of time till we get this, we solve this to get the answer. So the effective value I am putting it in red. So effective value for this combination is R by 2. For this combination is again R by 2. For this combination is R by 2. For this one is R by 2. For this one is R. And again over here R by 2. So we say that if we take the series value for this particular network, that is between ED and CF, so this network, so the series value is going to be R by 2 plus R by 2, that is equal to 2R, and the parallel value that is between R by 2 and 2R is going to be R by 2 into 2R upon 2R plus R by 2. So we get R square upon 5R by 2, that is 2R by 5. This is R parallel consisting between ED and CF. So now in the lowest rung we say RS1 is going to be R by 2 plus 2R by 5 plus R by 2. So R by 2 and R by 2 will give us R plus 2R by 5, that is 7R by 5. Now this 7R by 5 and capital R are in parallel with each other. So I write 1 by R effective is going to be 1 by R plus 5 by 7R. So we write it as 7R. 7 plus 5, that is 12 upon 7R, and the effective value of resistance is going to be 7R by 12 for this particular network. So we have solved it using this method. So if we go back to the question where we started all with, so over here the first one I say that the first part over here AB, that is on the same edge, matches with 7R by 12. So I say that the first one matches with Q. RAD, that is the resistance across the ends of the diagonal. The second one matches with P, 5R by 6. And the third one, that is across the face diagonal, matches with R. So Q, P and R is the correct alternative for this particular problem. So now we move on to the next question. Finding equivalent resistance across the points A and B is. So in this circuit, if you look clearly here, you will find that there is a symmetry between A and B, as we can say that corresponding to 6 ohm resistance over here, we have a 6 ohm resistance over here, 3 ohm there, we have a 3 ohm here, 4 ohm here, we have a 4 ohm here, 6 ohm in between, we have a 6 ohm here in between, 12 ohm here in between, we have a 12 ohm here in between. So I can say that there is a perfect symmetry that exists in this particular circuit, and hence whenever I will be solving this circuit out, I mean to say that we will find out the equipotential nodes. So I can say that H and F are equipotential nodes, E and I are equipotential nodes, J and D are equipotential nodes, C and K are equipotential nodes. So when I say that these nodes are equipotential, I can redraw this circuit in such a way that we begin this way, that between A and G we have a resistance of 1 ohm. Now this point over here we are considering both as H and F. So I mean to say that this 4 ohm and this 4 ohm are in parallel with each other, and they will give us an effective value of 2 ohm. So if I would have drawn it by overlapping the two nodes, I would have drawn it this way, and this 6 ohm I would have overlapped with the another 6 ohm resistance like this. I would have drawn the entire circuit this way. So I'm not drawing this circuit, I'm drawing the calculative circuit because the calculations are simple. Both the resistances are same, so we just have to half the value. So between these two we are getting 2 ohm, and between the point A and H and A and F, both these 6 ohms will combine together in parallel to give us 3 ohm. So this will give us value of 3 ohm. Now we move to point E and I. Now the point E and I, this is 3 and 3, so in between we will get 3 by 2 ohm, and over here we will get again 3 ohm because there is a 6 ohm resistor. Between E and D, which is equipotential with J, we again have 3 ohm on top and 3 ohm over here, so we'll get a value of 3 by 2 ohm, and the two 6 ohms between A and D and A and J will give us the value equivalent of 3 ohm. Now we are going to C and K. The value is becoming again 3 by 2 for C and K, and between A and C or A and K, the two resistance that we have of 12 ohm will give us the effective value of 6 ohm. Now from C to B or K to B, the 6 ohm resistor can be, the two 6 ohm resistor can be drawn as 3 ohm. So this is how our effective circuit is going to look like after considering all the aspects. Now we start solving it. We say that these two are in series with each other, will give us 3, and this 3 and 3 will give us 3 by 2. Again this 3 by 2 and 3 by 2 will combine together to make it 3, which in comparison with 3 in parallel will become 3 by 2. So again 3 by 2 and 3 by 2 will make it 3, which in combination with 3 will give us 3 by 2. Again 3 by 2 and 3 by 2 will make it 3, which is in parallel with 6 ohm. So now I write that R parallel is equal to 3 into 6 upon 6 plus 3, that is 9. So we get 2 ohm. Now this 2 ohm is in series with 3 ohm. So we get this as the effective value, which is equal to 5 ohm. So for this circuit, 5 ohm, that is option A, is the correct alternative. Let us move to the next problem. An infinite network of equal resistance, 1 ohm each, is given to a supply using a 1 volt battery as shown in the given figure. Supply is not connected anywhere between the points A and B. Then we have to find the ammeter reading and the equivalent value of resistance. So the first thing which we will be doing is we will be calculating the equivalent value of resistance. So I suggest that at A, the current which is entering is dividing into infinite proportions. So I say that at A, the current that will enter, suppose say I current, if it enters from here, will divide in the 4 equal divisions of I by 4 each in each arm. And when this same current is going to approach us at B, they will again rejoin all the I by 4 to meet at B as I. So this is how we redraw this circuit. Now if we superimpose AB branch So we say that the current in the branch AB on superimposition will give us a value of I by 2 current, and the resistance is R in between A and B. Now there is an ammeter attached over here with a voltmeter over here. For the rest of the current, that is I am drawing an equivalent resistance whose value is to be determined. So it is very simple. So since I by 2 current is flowing in the arm AB, so I by 2 must be flowing in the RE network. So from here I can say that RE is equal to R. So the effective value of resistance, that is the two are in parallel with each other, is going to be R by 2 ohm. Now since R is equal to 1, so it is going to give us 0.5 ohm. For calculating the value of ammeter reading, we are saying I is equal to V by R. So the value of potential difference is 1 upon 0.5 will give us 2 ampere. So the value of 2 ampere current is in the reading of ammeter. So with this we have come to a conclusion of solving of the values of the questions based on resistance.